Oh, that's a lot of fallout. I don't like the way it looks so far. This just takes it to the next level. I got no argument with that right there. Hello, welcome back to my channel. Thank you so much for being here. That was super sweet of you. Are you guys wondering what this lump in the background is? It's Bert. He's been doing this thing lately where he literally scales the side of our bed in order to climb under the comforter. He's not under the sheets or anything, he's just under the quilt. He keeps me on my toes. I gotta give him that. He's a hilarious little guy, makes every day a joy to be alive, and I just love him so much. But that's not what this video is about. You did not click on this video to find out that Bert is literally the cutest man in the whole world and I could scream every second of every day. No, you clicked on this video because you, like me, have an interest in me trying the Colourpop Amethyst collection and also trying Colourpop for the first time in like 2 years. So a few weeks ago, Colourpop reached out to me on Instagram and asked if they could add me to their Ulta specific PR list. And I really had to toil with this decision for a while because if you're not into my channel, you know I criticize Colourpop a lot. I said in a video just about a year ago to the date that I wasn't going to be supporting them for a while until I felt like they got better as a brand. And my two main criticisms I said in that video were, one, the constant rapid fire releases, being sort of a fast fashion makeup brand, which they still do. They really haven't made improvements on that, and that's something I will continue to criticize them on. I do not think they should be releasing as many releases as they are, but at the end of the day, if I were to not buy from every single brand that releases makeup products too often, I wouldn't buy from 90% of the brands at Sephora and Ulta, because unfortunately that's just kind of the way it's going right now, and that doesn't make it okay, and I will continue to criticize that till the day I take my last breath. So that was the first big criticism I had of them in that video. But the second big criticism I had of them was not catering to a wide enough range of skin tones when it came to their blushes and highlighters and eyeshadow palettes, because their foundation and concealer ranges have always been, you know, pretty good, at least like the standard. But I watched a video from Amanda Beebe last year where she talked about how just their blush and highlighter ranges really are not as vast as they should be. But over the last year, I will say I really do think Colourpop has made an effort. They've come out with these cheek palettes that have a good range of tones. They've come out with deeper blushes, deeper highlighters. They're not perfect. I'm not gonna sit here and be like, Colourpop's fine now, no more criticism when it comes to being inclusive, because no, I don't think any brand is off the table from criticism of not being inclusive enough, and I am going to continue to hold them to that standard. And if I feel like they come out with a release that's not inclusive, I'm gonna tell you about it and I'm gonna tell you not to buy it. All this to say, I'm reviewing the Amethyst collection today. They came out with this purple palette, which I'm not gonna lie, even before I was on their PR list, I was eyeing this on Trendmood. I was like, oh, am I about to break my Colourpop hiatus? Because I really love a good purple palette, and it's so smoky and it's crystal themed. And you guys know I'm a crystal lady. I'm wearing an amethyst today. I love crystal so much. I love purple so much, so I am excited to review this. I also have some Super Shock shadows here to try today. I have their Ultra Blotted Lip Balm formula, which is newer. I also have some blushes here, so I've got a good variety of stuff to try here from Colourpop. And yeah, like I said, I'm gonna be brutally honest. So if that sounds like a topic that is interesting to you and you want to see me try Colourpop on my channel for the first time in like over 2 years, then I encourage you to please subscribe and keep on watching because it's coming at you right now. All right, let's zoom you in. We're gonna start with the eyes today. So this palette is called the All Amethyst Pressed Powder Palette, and one thing I did notice is that the pans are bigger than their typical 9-pan monochromatic palette. I'm not sure if that's a thing for sure, because again, I really haven't used Colourpop in a very long time, but just comparing it to the Lilac You A Lot monochrome purple palette that they also sent me, you can see that the pans are bigger here, so I did find that interesting. The only thing is the All Amethyst palette doesn't have a mirror, which the monochrome palettes do have a mirror. This is made of cardboard, this is made of plastic. I much prefer the cardboard packaging because obviously that's more environmentally friendly. So those are the big differences between the monochromatic palettes and this All Amethyst palette. I can't remember the price difference though, so I will put that on the screen for you, letting you know the price difference. Okay, now let's dig into the palette. Oh, another thing I forgot to mention, there's no pressed glitters in here, which gets a big old thumbs up from me. I would love none of their palettes to contain pressed glitters, but it does contain a sequin shade, which I'm gonna try because I haven't used one of their sequin shades in a long time. This is the shade Triagonal. Oh, that's a lot of fallout. Not a deal breaker for me, but just, I mean, I can't hide that. You saw the fallout, so let's see if that shows up on my eyes. I did purposefully not do my base makeup first so that I could be prepared if there's fallout. But yeah, like I was saying, this is a sequin shade, which I historically don't love sequin shades. Sequin shades are mattes with shimmer in them, which just, it seems, you know, hypocritical to me. I don't really get it. This is very pigmented, by the way. Will credit where credit is due. This is going on real pigmented so far. But yeah, the shimmer is just, it's not enough. I'm very much of the opinion that like, be a shimmer or be a matte. Don't be in between. And a lot of times the reasons brands say that they use sequin shades is because it makes them easier to blend. But I feel like just make better mattes if they're not blending well. Can you guys see the shimmer on camera? Let me zoom you in further. In my opinion, it's just too subtle. I'd rather just use a regular shimmer. There's plenty of shimmers in the palette, so I feel like this could have just been a standard matte. It looks prettier like in the pan than it does on my eyes. Like I feel in the pan, you're like, oh, I can see that shimmer, but on the eyes, it's like, where? So, I mean, it looks fine. It just looks like a matte on my eyes. But yeah, I'm just gonna pop that on the inner portion here. And I think we should move on to another color because I want to use as many colors as possible. The idea for today's look is I kind of want to go for like a purple smoky eye with still some shimmer in it. So that's the idea. For my next shade, let's go right into these smoky tones. I want to use both of these two shades because I do feel like if there's gonna be a repetitive, you know, shade situation happening here, it could be these two. I want to know if they're gonna look different enough on the eyes to justify them both being in the palette. So let's first go into this shade, which is called Royal Affair. And I am gonna pop this on the lid here. Okay, a very dusty purple. Good pigmentation on this shade too. I will say in the past I've criticized Colourpop's deeper mattes for not being as pigmented as their lighter shades. So happy to see that so far, but let's see how it blends. Because I am doing a smoky eye, so it's not gonna be super graphic. I'm kind of just popping down the color right now, but then I will go in and kind of like fluff it out afterwards. That looks horrible right now. You gotta bear with me, I got a plan here. Okay, so I got a clean little blending brush here, so let's see if I'm able to blend this out. Okay, it's moving with me so far. It was looking a little patchy for a second here, but I feel like the more I'm blending it out, the patchiness is going away. Are they the most effortless to use deeper mattes that I've ever used? No, I'm not gonna sit here and lie to you, but they are working. It just takes a little bit of extra time blending. I'm gonna take the shade next to it, shade Crystal Crazy, this purple that I thought looked a little too similar to Royal Affair, and I'm gonna pop that on the center a little bit, just trying to decide if both of these shades need to be in here. I mean, right next to each other, they really don't look very different. I can see the differences. Like, I can see it's very subtle. Like, clearly the shade in the middle is more cool toned, where the one on the end has a hint of warmth to it. Do I think they could have omitted one of these shades for a super, super deep, like almost black purple? Yes, I do. I absolutely do. Okay, before we move on to the shimmery shades, I do just want to dip into this like very gray tone shade. What's it called? Tryst or that, Thist or that. I'm sure that's something stone related. And I want to try this shade specifically because in my Kathleen Light So Jaded palette, there was a gray shade in there that just was like hard panned immediately, didn't do anything for me. So I'm like, has the gray changed? Was that just the one bad shade that I got? I don't know. So that's why we're trying this out. Just popping a little bit on, I guess, the outer portion here. Okay, yeah, it's showing up. I do feel like there's little spots where it's kind of sticking to like my follicles, you know, where like obviously where my eyebrow hairs grow out, but I am able to like blend them out. There just are definitely spots it's sticking to. Definitely takes a little bit of extra effort with these deeper mattes, but I am able to make them work. Not gonna lie, I don't like the way it looks so far. Oh, I just feel like I got too carried away with that gray. Let me hold my thoughts to the end, but let's give these shimmers a chance to, in my opinion, save the look. So let's dip into the shade Amulet because that looks the prettiest. Is that gonna go though? No. Okay, let's dip into this shade. Maybe I'll do both. This shade is called Sunbird. Also, I am wearing my Fear and I Pixie Epoxy, my glitter primer here, but I do that with any shimmer, not just the Colourpop one. So let's see how this shimmer looks on top of it. You know, it's a pretty shimmer. It's definitely got a bit of a shift to it, like a little bit of a purple blue flip. I wouldn't go so far as to call it a duochrome by any means, but it is a pretty shimmer. Is it the most powerful shimmer I own in my collection? No. I tend to like my indie makeup shimmers, which are like the most powerful shimmers you've ever seen, but this is a nice shimmer. It's pretty. It definitely breathes some much needed life into the look. I like the look 10 times better now than I did 30 seconds ago. So that is the good news here. Okay, so before I keep going with the All Amethyst palette, I do want to dip into one of the Super Shock shadows that they sent me. So this is the shade Tassel. It looks like an icy white shade. Ooh, super buttery though. I forgot how buttery these feel. It's been, like I said, it's been years since I've tried anything from Colourpop. So, ooh, that could be a good nose highlight on me. Getting carried away. Okay, so that's one of the shades I have here. Then I also have this shade. It's not from the collection. This is one I picked out myself. This is the shade Ripple, which is a pretty purpley shade, like a purple blue flip. Really, really pretty. I might want to pop a little bit of that on the center. We'll see. And then the other shade I have here from the Amethyst collection is the shade Dream Mulch. It's Dream Much, not Dream Mulch. That wouldn't make any sense unless you're in my dreams. I have some pretty wild dreams. I wouldn't be surprised at Dream Mulch. But this is kind of a blue with less of a flip than the shade Ripple, but just a nice pretty blue. I'm gonna take a little bit of that shade Ripple. I just wanna pop a little bit of that on the center because yeah, dude, that's my type of shimmer right there. This just takes it to the next level. I think all of their shimmers should be Super Shock shadows in the palettes. I know they've put Super Shock shadows in palettes before. I wish this one had a Super Shock shadow in it. I'm sure the palettes would be more expensive if they did that. So I get it, you can't put them in every palette, but the shade Ripple just goes so well with the shades in here. Could have been a nice ad, but yeah. So still glad to say that the Super Shocks are still awesome. I really, really like that. I think I'm gonna take that lighter shade, that white shade, and put it on my brow bone now. Would have loved a white with like little flecks of purple in it. I think that could have been really cool, but I'm just honestly being overly critical. For an icy white, it's really pretty. Definitely crystallizes the look a little bit. Although I forgot how opaque these Super Shock shadows are because I did just cover up a little bit of that matte shade. Oh well, I'll just take my blending brush here and take a little bit of those matte shades and try to pop them back out. Okay, I'm a lot happier. You know what I forgot to do though? I was about to say let me go do the other eye. I just forgot I would like to put a little bit of this icy shade on the inner corner. I got no argument with that right there. That's a beautiful inner corner highlight. The stars so far have been the Super Shock shadows. I still got more to try from Colourpop, but as I was gonna say before, let me go ahead and do the other eye real quick, pop on some foundation because I don't have a foundation to try from Colourpop yet. I think they might be sending it to me, but I don't know. So let me go do my foundation and concealer real quick and then we'll come back and try the blush. All right, here we are. The look is growing on me. I'm not gonna lie, you guys saw me there for a second. I was like, oh, am I gonna have to wash this off after the video? But you know what? It's coming together and I'm happy with it. But now we have blushes to try. So these are from a different collection. I think the collection is called the Smoothie collection. It doesn't say anywhere, but I have these two blushes. I don't have any Colourpop blushes left in my collection. I've decluttered all of them, not because I didn't like them, just because I felt like they weren't a favorite. Like I've never had like outward criticism for them. I've just been like, meh, they're just kind of okay. But when I saw this blush, I was like, heck yeah, dude. Loving seeing a deeper blush option from them because I myself love deeper blushes. I think it's a big misconception that deeper blushes are only meant for deeper skin tones. They can work for everybody because you just have to sheer them out a little bit, or if you're like me and you just really like a bold blush, you just leave them as is. The name of this blush is called Toffee Cake, which I also find very confusing because there's like pomegranates on the front and it's clearly pomegranate colored, but they might have something else called pomegranate. I know Colourpop is very big on like not reusing any names, so maybe that's why. Ooh, looks super pigmented on the brush. I'm gonna try to, you know, kick a little bit off in the back of my hand here and let's see how pigmented it looks on the face. Will it even go with the look? I don't know. I am such a fool. Oh my goodness. It's okay. Hopefully this blends out. I am wearing a powder bronzer underneath, by the way. I don't have a Colourpop bronzer. I'm just wearing my Makeup Revolution bronzer. It looks so sunburnt. Okay, let's take my foundation brush here and see if I can't do a little bit of salvaging. If you ever overdo the blush, just take your foundation brush. This side is better. This side I have significantly less on because I like tapped it on here and then I started blending on here first. Big mistake. I need to remember that you can always add more blush, but it's a lot harder to take it away, which this is good to see that I'm like putting a liquid foundation over this and it's not totally messing with the formula of the blush or anything. I also don't think I've worn a powder blush in like 2 months at this point because I've been so in love with my Tassel and Auric's Luxe Cream palette, so I think I just forgot how powder blushes work. But this shade is stunning. I really like this shade a lot. See, once it's all sheared out, it's super pretty. It really does give that like pretty sunburnt look. Sunburnt without skin damage, so I like that about it. This is a very unique powder blush shade to my collection. I don't have anything this rich, so I really like that. But okay, now let's move on to the lip. Oh, I'm not wearing mascara. Okay, give me 2 seconds and I'll put on some mascara. All right, I'm back. Mascara is on and I am ready for a lip. I am liking the way this look is turning out. I feel like I've said that so many times, but you know, the beginning of this video is rough. So let's go in with their newest formula, I believe. They might have a newer one. They release a lot of stuff, but this is their Blotted Lip. I used to have one of their Ultra Blotted Lips, the liquid ones, and I hated it. It was super drying. I didn't like it at all. So I was excited to see that they came out with the balmy version. I have the shade Shook. It's like a nice deep plum. So we're just gonna go right in with it so you can see how pigmented it is. I did wear this one other time. Okay, more opaque than I was expecting for an ultra blotted. Although you can see with just like one swipe, that was a back and forth, but just one swipe is definitely lighter. See, when you just go there one time, it's a pretty light wash of a color, but it can be built up a little bit. It feels hydrating too. It definitely feels like a balmier formula. It has a nice scent too. It's very fruity. I like a good fruity smelling lip, and the color is super pretty. They did send me some lip oils as well. I think I'm gonna go over it with a lip oil just so you can see it. The oils, I've worn these a couple times. These are really nice. They're very light to the point where I feel like I can put it over this ultra blotted lip and it's not really affecting the color at all. I mean, granted, it's a similar color. This is the shade Heyyy with 3 Ys. When I got these oils in the mail, I was like, are these just gonna feel like they're glosses? Because I do not like the Luxe Gloss formula. It's way too goopy for me, but this is totally different. It may be in the same packaging, but it's much lighter, truly feels like an oil, and has a really nice shine to it. It's got a glossy shine, but the feel of an oil, which is absolutely ideal for me. So the lip products, I'm really impressed with so far. I have no notes on any of the lip products. And you guys, with that, we've reached the end of the video. Really an emotional roller coaster of a video. So the All Amethyst palette, I am not gonna recommend to you. I don't think it's terrible, but I just did struggle a little bit with the deeper mattes and blending. I recently got the Blend Bunny Blends palette, and that has some deeper mattes in it that I just feel like are better. So that's kind of always been my complaint with Colourpop, is that the deeper mattes don't blend as well as the lighter mattes. No issues with the lighter mattes. I mean, I really only used this shade, which was a sequin shade, which I also complained about because I feel like they didn't really show up on the eyes all that much, so I could have done without the sequin shade, but the tone of this shade did go on really nicely and wasn't patchy at all. And of course, this is only my first time playing with it, and I went with a very blown out look. I typically don't do this blendy of a look. I typically do more like graphic looks, so I would definitely still use these for graphic looks because when you just stamp them on, it's fine, but when I was trying to like blend and blend and blend and blend, they blended out eventually. I should zoom in so you can like see what I'm talking about. Like obviously I got it to a place where I feel like it looks okay, but there is still like a little bit of patchiness, so not my favorite when it comes to that. The shimmers were really pretty, not the most powerful shimmers I've tried before. I never tried this shade. That shade is really, really pretty. But I do feel like they're just not as powerful as the Super Shock shadows, and if I have Super Shock shadows, I'm gonna reach for that over these. But that's enough about the eyeshadow. I talked about that for so long. Blush, love this shade. Need to remember it's super pigmented so that I don't accidentally end up wearing way too much, but the shade is absolutely stunning. And the lips, like I just said, the lips were probably the biggest star. The lips and the Super Shock shadows are the two things that I like the most, that I actually feel like aren't just like good for the price, but are like actually good. In the Blotted Lip too, I definitely want to get some more shades of this because that was really nice. I love easy breezy lip products like this where I don't need to think too much. This is something I would definitely throw in my purse that I could throw on when I'm out and about and I don't have a mirror because I feel that confident that it's not gonna like look a mess when I do that. But yeah, overall, I like the way the look turned out. Let me know what you guys think about the products I tried today. Like I said, just because I'm on their Ulta PR list now doesn't mean that I'm not still gonna keep it real with you and give you my brutally honest reviews. And if you like this video, please give it a big thumbs up, subscribe to my channel. I post new videos every Monday, Wednesday, and Friday. They're always really cute and sweet like this one. Check out my description box for all of the makeup on my face today. Also, my description box, I will have a bunch of Black Lives Matter resources to support the Asian American community, and resources to support the LGBTQ+ community. So please check out those links if you haven't yet. And thank you so much for watching, and I'll see you in my next video. Bye!